Okay, guys, so welcome to another brand new episode of the learning series by Juno School of Business. So I'm sure you guys are aware that this is a platform where we discuss skills that would aid your corporate journey and make you better sales professionals. Now, we all know that sales is one of the most rewarding careers that one can undertake. And at Juno School, it is our endeavor, that we shape those better sales professionals for tomorrow. And in fact, I'm sure you guys are aware that sales is one of, it's the salespeople who actually drive it for every organization and significantly contribute to the revenue generation. Moreover, it's a human desire for everybody to grow in life, be it their personal spaces or the professional sphere. And that growth can only happen if we are able to sell ourselves to people. Now, that could be in a job interview or maybe a campus selection, or maybe selling ideas to your team members or your colleagues. So technically, the better we sell, the more we grow in life. Now, the irony here is that sales is a skill which is most widely used, however, taught in any school or college in a structured format. So that's the irony. So at Juno School, it is our endeavor to bridge this gap through interactive online sessions with industry leaders, live activities and practice sessions, detailed lectures and conversations, which we've beautifully customized in an 8-week module, coupled with career guidance, which includes resume building, mock interviews, and LinkedIn profiling. Now, these webinars that we do is a routine feature, and you can be part of them every Saturday from 12 to 1. So make sure that you block your calendars and be part of these sessions in case if you want to gain insights and are interested in building a great sales career, right? In case if you want to know more about us, do visit junoschool.org, or you can always schedule a chat or write into us at hello@junoschool.org. Now, let me welcome our industry expert for the day, Jayant. Now, Jayant is currently working with LinkedIn, and in his corporate journey, he's worked with organizations like Naukri.com, IIM Jobs, Reliance Communications. In fact, I've had the privilege to work with him in the past. And in this session today, he will share his insights as to how you build that rocking LinkedIn profile. And as the topic goes, I'm sure we will indeed have a rocking session today. Thank you so much, Jayant, for squeezing out time for us and being part of the Juno community. On this note, I request him to take over and share his insights. All over to you, Jayant.
Thank you so much, Himadri. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And I appreciate what Juno School is trying to do as far as, helping sales professionals at large. And I'm happy to contribute in any little way, shape or form, right? I want to thank Himadri, Palak and Tarun for setting this up. I think it's a wonderful initiative. And I want to thank the 20 odd 30 odd people who've joined this call. Thank you so much for taking time out on a Saturday. I am sure you're all hoping for some kind of insightful conversation today, and I'm hoping for the same. I'll give you a little bit of introduction about myself beyond at least about what I do at LinkedIn right now. I manage the higher education vertical at LinkedIn. I manage the South region currently. And LinkedIn profile is something which I actively talk to students about, right? Not just students. I talk to faculty. This is something that's part of my job, right? And having the importance of having a great LinkedIn profile is something that we are going to stress upon today. I have a small presentation that I would like to share with you. Please let me know if you're all able to see my screen. Able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So I think without any further ado, we have an hour. So I think I'm going to directly jump into the topic here. These are largely the things I thought we should keep on our agenda today. One is, of course, I'll share some tidbits about LinkedIn to you. The second piece is, of course, why is it important to be on LinkedIn today and why it's important to have a rocking LinkedIn profile. The third piece is, of course, some best practices on LinkedIn. I'm confident that a lot of you will already be following some of this. So but anyway, I'm going to stress upon some of the key things that I feel are important. The fourth piece I thought is pro tips for job seekers, because I was told that a lot of you who are part of this session might be actively looking out for jobs or are actively looking out for jobs currently, right? And I figured we should all, I thought putting some kind of focus on that can definitely add value. I joined LinkedIn almost around 9 months back. So I've just gone through the whole process of a job hunt. So it's still pretty fresh in my memory. So I've put together some of the tips that I thought would be useful. They were useful to me, and I wanted to share that with you today. Right. My hope is we can keep today's session as interactive as possible. So as I am going through some of the best practices on your LinkedIn profile, I would like people who are part of the session to share their LinkedIn profile along with a small hyphen mention. Let's say we are talking about your profile pictures, etc. I would like you to send in your LinkedIn profile link along with a hyphen saying profile picture, which is the feature that you want me to look at. And I want to show it to everybody to see, hey, and we'll talk about, what is working there, what is not working there. And I want you all to kind of be open and frank about, what you feel about some today's session, right? So moving further.
Sorry to disturb you. Can you please
Yes.
tell me that you told to hyphen something after LinkedIn profile? I missed out.
Yeah. Just share the link of your profile.
Okay.
And just put hyphen. Let's say we are talking about updating your profile picture, right?
Okay.
Just put hyphen profile picture if you want to, so that I can look at your profile and look at your profile, that specific feature that we are talking about.
Sure.
So for example, we are talking about, let's say, your job summary, right? So put your profile and just type in hyphen job summary so that we can all look at that, right? I'm hoping, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, then let's just quickly get into it. I think the first piece is getting to know LinkedIn, right? I think if you look at the core vision of what LinkedIn is built on, I think this statement summarizes it very clearly, right? Creating an economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. That is the primary agenda with which LinkedIn was built, and that you will see this run through among any product, any features that LinkedIn has today. This is something that is at the foundation of everything that LinkedIn does, right, today. Now, how we are doing it is by connecting the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. I'm sincerely hoping that all of you here already have a LinkedIn profile so that we can actively make some changes to the profile if required while we are on the session itself. But this is largely our mission today. Now, I wanted to show you a little, share some information about LinkedIn and why LinkedIn is important today, right? Our primary value proposition is we connect potential job seekers to opportunity, right? That is largely the agenda, like I said, with which LinkedIn was built. Now, if you look at the economic graph of what LinkedIn is today, we have around 830 million members that are present on the platform, around 15 million plus organizations that are represented today, 14 million jobs that get posted, around 38,000 skills are represented on the platform, around 120K schools, and around 4 billion knowledge points are shared on the platform today, right? Another interesting tidbit is that 4 people get hired every minute on LinkedIn today, right? So I'm hoping by the end of this session, a few of you will, in the near future, will become one of these 4 people that get hired in a minute. That's my sincere hope. And just give me a second here. I'm going to straight away jump into your profile, right? Some of the key things that that I feel should definitely be a highlight of your profile. Some of it might seem a little basic to some people here, but I would request you to kind of, be patient and wait for features that you probably have not tried out, or that can definitely add value, right, to your profile. Let me start off with your profile photo. Now, can you all start sharing your LinkedIn profile profile link on the chat box here, and just hyphen profile picture so that I know to look at your profile picture. But before that, let me just address why a LinkedIn profile photo is extremely important today, right? Members with a photo get up to 9 times more connection requests, 21 times more profile views, and 36 times more messages. Now, another reason why I feel a profile picture is obviously very important is because let's say that you meet people during an event, right? And you made some connections, you had a great conversation with somebody, and you want to go back and connect with them on LinkedIn. Now, when you're looking for their profile on LinkedIn and you found the names, there are multiple people with the same names. But if they don't have the picture, you don't have the confidence that this is the right person, right? So it always is helpful to have a profile picture, and ideally it should be in HD and things like that. Those are all basic things which I'm sure a lot of you will already be aware of doing. So I'm not going to stress too much on that, but I wanted to stress on the importance of why a profile picture is important. These are the things that you can gain from doing that. Now, I hope some of you have shared your profiles with me. Let me just open some of them and share these profiles with everybody. I think we are looking at Manjuraj's profile here. I would say it's a pretty decent profile picture here. I think it very clearly depicts. What I've seen is sometimes people put profile pictures of a bunch of people. I have no idea who the person is, right? So that can also be a little challenging. So I think Manjuraj here has done the right thing here. He's put up his own profile picture. It's a very clear picture. I think this is something that's that looks like a good profile picture to me. Let me also look at Sharad's profile picture here. Again, a fantastic profile picture. I don't think there is any issue as far as this is concerned. And I think you get the gist here. So I'm going to quickly move on to the next important thing that should be definitely there on your profile. This is a feature that is currently available on your mobile applications. I believe it is not currently available on your desktop. This is again, I think, can be a very important thing because sometimes people have difficulty pronouncing your names, right? And it can be Jabir, I think, could you please mute your screen? I think there's a lot of background noise. Thank you.
I'll do it, Jen. Don't worry. I'll take care of this.
All right. Thank you. Perfect. So I think recording your name is again something that can be very. No problem. No problem. This is something that can be very useful, especially if you don't know how to pronounce somebody's name. Some people's names can be a mouthful. There can be tongue twisters in there. And I think recording it and putting it out there will clearly tell people how to pronounce your name. So this is something, again, which is extremely straightforward. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. The third piece is, I thought I should share this data with you, adding your pronouns, although I think this is something which is obviously optional. But the interesting thing is that 72% of hiring managers believe it's important and it shows respect, right? So please feel free to add your pronouns to your LinkedIn profile. Creating a profile video is again a very interesting thing, which will give you an almost instant introduction to you, right? As to who you are as a person. You're able to again do this through your mobile app, and you can highlight what exactly it is that you're talking about, and you can quickly take up a video on your mobile phones. This is again something that is going to be extremely useful for a potential recruiter who is looking at your profile. You can quickly add a 30-second video introducing yourself, share your story, highlight your goals, etc. Right? You will also be able to see how many people have viewed it, etc. Viewer analytics are also shared with you on the platform. The next piece is adding your industry. Now, this is something which is extremely, extremely important, I feel. Members with industry information receive up to 9 times more profile views than people who don't. And more than 300K people search by industry on LinkedIn every week. So in order to be present when people are searching for their industry and your profile to pop up, marking your industry is something which is extremely, extremely important. And also, just to give you a small piece of information, LinkedIn is also a preferred recruitment platform for all of the Fortune 500 companies globally, right? Now, the recruiters from each of these organizations are on LinkedIn searching for potential talent, and some of them will search by industry. And if your name has to pop up when these recruiters do the search, I think it's important that you mention your industry there. The next piece is, of course, if you're open to work, if you're actively searching, and from what I understand, a lot of people in this group are going to be actively searching for jobs or already are. You have an option on your profile where you can show that you're open to work, as it's seen on the screen here. And you have an option to show that you're open to work to all LinkedIn members to maximize the reach. But it means that everybody in your profile will know that you're actively looking for a job. This might be a bit of a problem if you're currently working somewhere, but you have an option to make sure that only recruiters who are actively recruiting on the platform can see your profile. So as you can see here, there are these two options wherein you can select the option where you show it to all your show that you're open to work to all LinkedIn members, which means that your profile picture will have a small section which says open to work. But if you share it only with recruiters only, that means that your profile, people in your network will not be aware that you're open to a job, but recruiters who are actively recruiting will be able to see it. Now, this also means that 40%, you're 40% more likely to be noticed by recruiters as a result of doing this. So I would recommend doing this for anybody actively looking for a job. Compelling summary, right? I think this is again something that's very, very important because it is something that really pops up right at the beginning, right? When somebody is looking at your profile, it's very important to keep your summary succinct. It has to talk about your career accomplishments and your aspirations. It's essentially an elevator pitch, right? You are talking about yourself. You're summarizing your work experience and you're talking about your achievements and what your goals are, right? You should ideally keep it between around 40 to 50 words. That's ideal. Another thing is, of course, adding more content to the platform can obviously get you more noticed, and putting up content that is directly relevant to your profession, right, or something that you're aspiring to be, is actively telling your network that this is something that you're passionate about and something that you're following very closely, and putting up more such information on the platform featuring rich content. I think that can also showcase to a potential recruiter that this person is actively following the industry, following important trends, etc. This again, I feel it's a very, very, very basic thing. I think if you haven't done it, I think it's very important to do it. Detailing your work experience, up-to-date positions, these are all very, very basic. I think Debarna has a question. Please, Debarna.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much for the session, and it's going wonderful. And very, very good afternoon to you and to everybody. So my question is, if I upload a profile video, in that case, should I have to remove the profile photo from the screen, or like it works both?
Both, I think both are available. Your profile picture will be there and your profile video will also.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then from where to see my profile video analytics and
I wish I could show it to you on. So basically, the video thing is done on the mobile phone. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's when it can be shot. Since I'm not on the mobile, but I'm happy to kind of take this query offline, Debana. You can drop me
Okay.
a note. I'm happy to kind of address this with you post the meeting.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So detailing your work experience, of course, is extremely important. Keeping your positions up to date, etc. It can invoke 5 times more connection requests. You can get 8 times more profile views and 10 times more messages as a result of this. Please make sure that your profile is up to date with all accurate information. It's extremely important from a job search standpoint for sure. Again, detailing your work experience, you need to obviously click on the edit option, and this is where you are able to edit and update your information here. I think this is all extremely straightforward, so I'm going to skip ahead. Another interesting thing that I thought was, sometimes people are reluctant to kind of put up a career break. And this is something which I feel, is something, there is some kind of a stigma associated with it. But I believe it is changing rapidly, and people are more open to candidates taking a career break, etc. But I think, and this particular section, as you can see how it can be highlighted on your mobile phone, I think this video is showing you that. But I think it's important to highlight what you've learned during that time off, right? What are the new experience or skills that you developed during a career break? And feature this in the about section, right? You can add this there, and I think that speaks volumes about what you're doing as a person. Maybe you've taken a break to kind of maybe upskill yourself. You've taken a break due to any personal some kind of personal commitments. What have you learned during that experience? It's important to highlight that, and I think it according to our statistics says 51% of hiring managers are more likely to contact you if you're actively putting up the reason for your career break rather than just leaving it empty and not addressing it. So I think it's important to put this up also on your LinkedIn profile. This might be something that you haven't done. If you haven't, please go ahead and add this also onto your LinkedIn profile. The other things that generally people are looking for. So when somebody is looking to hire you, they're obviously looking at your core skills, your current experience, your education. All of that is obviously something that recruiters are looking at. But sometimes people are looking for people with the cultural fit, right? Depending on the cultural goals of an organization, they might look at hiring people. They might want to look at people who are also committed to certain causes beyond their work, right? And putting up your volunteer experience, if you have any, I think can go a long way in creating a very good impression among recruiters. And members who had a volunteer experience get up to 6 times more profile views than those without, according to our statistics. So take this information, and if you have any volunteer experience, please add that to your LinkedIn profile as well. Skills and endorsements. This again is something which is extremely important. Members who add 5 or more skills receive up to 17 times more profile views. Now, adding the skills is one thing, and getting people who are in the similar industry, who have similar skills, endorsing you goes a long way in creating a great impression as far as your profile is concerned. So this means that you are somebody who is respected by the industry, by people who are doing similar jobs in the industry, and that it of course means that you're a well-reputed person within the industry, right? And I would definitely recommend you adding your skills and getting it endorsed by your peers or your few former bosses, etc. I think it's an extremely important process. It can go a long way in creating a great impression. Now, The next piece is, of course, requesting a recommendation. I think this is again something that's extremely straightforward. Now, can you? So I want to look at some of the profiles that have been shared here, and I want to check if anybody can you share. Can anybody share profiles where they've received recommendations from other people? Has anybody actively done that?
So, Dipona, this side, I've
Yeah,
tried
Devana.
to request a recommendation, but this idea actually I don't understand how does it
So
work or
let me ask you, Devana, who did you ask for recommendation?
no, I didn't ask anybody. Actually, I tried
You didn't request.
this
Okay.
yeah, but I have no idea about this particular section, that how
Okay.
does it
Okay.
works or what is the purpose of this particular section. So
Got it. Got it. Good that you put that across. I'm assuming some others also might have the same question. So the recommendation is actually an extremely straightforward feature, right? In the sense, this is the people who you've worked with in the past, who you've associated in the past. It could be your former colleague, it could be your current colleagues, it could be a former customer who you've had a great interaction with. Anybody recommending you as a professional for any jobs in the future, right? If somebody, ideally, it should be somebody who you've had meaningful interactions with, right, in the past, in a professional capacity, and you have an option of sending them a recommendation, sending them a recommendation request, so they can write a recommendation. Essentially, this is for potential recruiters in the future who want to kind of look at, so endorsements of skill is one thing, but recommendation, when somebody is vouching for you or vouching for your ability, let's say that you've been working in a sales role, and let's say you had a great customer interaction. You send a recommendation request to that person, and that person says that, I have interacted with Deborna during her stint at this XYZ company, and her working with her was an absolute delight, and she was able to address all my queries and all my concerns, and we had a fantastic working relationship at that point. Now, when a potential recruiter is looking at your profile, they are seeing that, hey, this person have had a customer has given a recommendation saying that, this person is a great sales professional, right?
all right. But so
So that goes a long way. Yeah.
okay. So, regarding this, I have two questions. The first one is,
Sure.
yeah, that's what I'm asking, the endorsement part. So,
Mhm.
I've been working as a content creator for last 6 years, but from the last year, June, I switched my career. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, I'm in the career break position at this present moment, and I engage
Yeah.
myself into studies. So I am a certified life coach and a career coach. So I
Got
generally
it.
coach students, but uh, right now I'm engaged myself into studies, upskilling myself. So so the question is, some of the some people endorse me for content writing and counseling part. So is it a different thing from recommending someone or endorsing
Yeah.
someone? Okay.
Yeah. These are two different things, right? As you can see, there are two separate sections for this. I'll tell you why skills and endorsements are important, because when you put up a skill, right, sometimes from the back end, when a recruiter is actively looking for a profile, they will put up the skills section, and which is why it's important to update it there. And when somebody endorses it, that gives it a lot of validity. But a recommendation is a written statement by somebody who you would work with, stating exactly what it is that they liked working with you, what was it about you that they liked, etc. And when you put that out, I think it obviously goes a long way. These are two different things, but the objective is the same, right?
Okay.
uh,
And the second question is, if I switch my career,
yeah.
then whom should I recommend, or like
Unfortunately, Debarna,
it's
this is not. Yeah, I mean, when you let's say you've switched careers, you've taken over a new job, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to build some kind of credibility at your workspace, right? Like for example, if you've just joined a new company now, nobody knows you, right? Nobody knows your work as yet.
Mhm.
It takes time, and it takes time to build certain credibility among your colleagues. And let's say after a few months or a year or so after having worked in that organization, people are aware of the kind of work that you do, etc. That is when you kind of get write to people for recommendations, etc., and you add skills, and general endorsements happen with your colleagues or with people who've actually worked with you in the past.
Okay.
It takes time.
So
It's not
can
something
I?
that will happen instantly, especially if you've changed the job. It takes time.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I got
yeah.
it. Got it. So can I ask the last question, please?
Please,
Excuse me
no
for
problem.
asking so many questions. Okay.
No.
So this recommendation part is like, am I recommending someone or I'm
You can do
sending
both.
a request to someone to recommend me?
So okay. So let me clarify this. There are two things that you can do. You can give a recommendation, right? And you can get a recommendation. So when you essentially what happens is you can request for a recommendation to somebody,
Mhm.
right? If somebody requests you for a recommendation, you can give it to them. That's
Okay.
how it works, right? So generally, you can look at your network, identify people who you worked with very closely in the past, etc., and
Mhm.
request for a recommendation. So you have an ask for recommendation option right on top there. Just click on that, and you can select the people who you want to request a recommendation from, and directly
Okay.
send. So they will
Okay.
get a link, and
Mhm.
they will have to click on it and type the recommendation there. Ideally,
Got
you should do it to people who you've worked with very closely in the past.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any kind of questions about what we've spoken so far? Okay, I'm going to look at a few LinkedIn profiles here, and I'm going to see how they've managed to kind of create, or let's say if their profile is, if there are any changes that we can recommend here. Ankit, I think you're there on the call here. I'm just looking at your profile. One thing that I would definitely recommend, I think, Ankit, is that
Yeah.
I would want more details from your profile here, right? Like in the sense from your experience here, what are you doing as a sales manager in Ashiana
Okay.
Homes? Yeah, I think I would want more details. You're a sales manager here, understood?
Yeah.
But I would recommend adding more details to it. I wouldn't
Okay.
say treat it like exactly like a resume, but I would,
Mm-hmm.
as when I read it, I would want to understand what exactly is happening, right? I think you've
Sure.
done that in your previous. I think this is very clear, right? Building customer relations interestingly. So this is something which I would recommend that you replicate in your
With each,
latest experiences.
with each company, it
Yeah.
should be in Supertech also. It should be in Ashiana also.
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. I would definitely recommend that. And I think you have got some endorsements here for these skills. I would recommend that you get a few. So these are people who have endorsed your skills. You can maybe write to them for recommendations also. I
Okay.
think that can significantly impact your LinkedIn profile.
Sure.
Yeah, super.
Thank you.
Anybody else who wants me to look at their LinkedIn profile? Maybe we can just.
So I really want that please check my profile as I completely switched my career.
So just okay, Debarna, right? Can you just share your profile
Yes,
with
sir. I
me?
have already shared it in the
Okay, I
chat
think
box.
I've
It's
lost
in
it
the
somewhere in the middle.
third or fourth number. Just a
Got it,
second.
got it. Okay, I think I got it here. Yes.
Yeah. So what happened with my profile is actually I am a certified life coach and I'm looking for a school counseling or school coaching job. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So most of the people are not aware especially in Kolkata, West Bengal. I'm from Kolkata, so I'm just talking about my city, state. So
Got it.
most of the people are not aware of the concept called coaching. Okay, they think it's a coaching center where maths and physics and English are being taught. So like most of the job alert that I'm getting is admission counseling, which is completely related to sales. Okay, so yeah, so I just want to know that if you can suggest me that how to apply for a proper job role that I am looking for. I want to be a school counselor or a career counselor, not the
Got it.
admission counselor. Yeah,
Got it.
but
Got
I'm
it.
not getting exactly this thing that I want.
Yeah. I think there can be a bunch of issues. Yeah. One thing that you need to understand is LinkedIn works. I mean, the LinkedIn search, right, from a backend when a recruiter is looking for a profile, it works pretty much like a Google search, right? They are putting in keywords. They are trying to find the right people. Now, depending on the keywords that you put up on your profile, I think that's when it will trigger your profile. Your profile will pop up as a result of that.
Yeah,
Now,
I wrote
now,
that I've been working as a content composer for last 6 years. So what happened?
got it.
That keyword specifically, like I'm getting more alert from the content writing company. So recently I remove it as well. Okay, so yeah.
Let me do one thing. I'll give you a I'll give you a tip as to how to put the right keywords. I think it's extremely important, right? Right keywords in the sense, not what you think is the right keyword, but what the companies are treating as right keywords. Yeah. Let me just show you this. Just give me a second here. Okay. So I'm going to actually just look at the kind of jobs that are available here. I'll just give you an example as to if, okay, one thing that I want to make it very clear is that I'm not actively looking for a job right now. Anybody from LinkedIn is on the call. I just want to give you a warning here. So what I want to say here is, let's say that I think a lot of sales, since there are a lot of sales professionals here, I will do it from that standpoint so that you can all benefit from that, right? So let's say that I am looking to be hired as an account manager, right? So I look for jobs in India. I can obviously use these filters and narrow it down further. These are all things I'm sure you can all explore yourself. But what is very interesting is this is an exercise which I did when I was actively looking for a job. And I think this is something that can be of great use to you. What I did was I looked at around 10 to 15 jobs that I felt was a great fit to me, right? I identified 10, 15 jobs. And what I did is I copied the job summary for each of these jobs here. Yeah. And I posted it onto a Google document here, right? So I have put in job descriptions of roughly around 10 jobs here that I've put in. And once you've put in the job descriptions of all the jobs, you can just hit Control A and copy it and use something called as a word cloud generator. I'm not sure, maybe some of you have already done this, but I thought this is extremely, extremely important if you want to get the keywords right and make sure that the algorithm is pulling them, right, when these keywords are mentioned. So once you've copied all the job descriptions from this Word document, you put it onto the free word generator and you hit this button called Generate Cloud. Now, this is a free software. You don't have to pay anything for it. It's available for everybody to use. Now,
can you please put it in the chat box, the software
sure,
name?
I will share the link. Yes, I will do that. Yes. Just give me a second. I have put it in the chat box here. Now, once you click on Generate Cloud, now what it's doing is it's telling me which are all the most relevant words that are popping up from these lists. I've just taken a couple of job descriptions here for your reference. But when you add 10 to 15 more job descriptions, I think more relevant ones will pop up. Now, if I put frequency as the metric here, it will tell me that there is, I mean, a lot of them are focusing on customer success, client relations, etc. These are all some of the keywords that are popping up. Now, when you do it for 10, 15 job descriptions, more relevant ones will pop up. Now, just be a little smart about it and pick up the right words that you think that they are looking for. Pick up those words. Make sure that these keywords are recurring in your LinkedIn profile. Is this something that somebody has already done? Has anybody done this before?
No.
I'm hearing for
Okay.
the first time.
Do you think that this can make it easy? Because most of the
Yeah,
times people don't know what
absolutely.
keywords to be used.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is something which can be done to kind of enhance your profile. Yeah. Getting the right keywords. Any questions here?
Could you check mine as well? I've sent, this is Rohan Joshi, by the way. I've sent
Rohan, hi.
Hi. I'm from
Let me
Pune.
just
Even mine, please.
Okay. Is this Rohan
Just
Joshi?
because
Yes.
I'm new to LinkedIn and hardly any 250 to 300.
I've sent a link as well.
Okay, got it. I'll come to you, Pratik, after I look at Rohan's profile. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. Yeah.
Rohan, I think yes, I think your profile pictures seems perfect. I don't think there is any issue there. Here again, you're putting up what you're doing. I mean, apart from what you just put some titles here, which is fine. But I would also recommend adding a one-liner as to what exactly it is. If you're able to summarize your experience, right? If you're able to put it up in one sentence, right? I think it can go a long way, because that's the first thing that anybody looking at your LinkedIn profile is going to see.
So
right?
instead of this this thing, I need to put it as this is about us, right? Sort of thing.
Yeah. So this is the So here, right, the section that I'm pointing out. Yeah. I think if you can just add a one-liner which will summarize your overall work experience, right?
Sure.
I'll just give you an example. I will just show you mine. Just give me a second. Not to say that mine is the most ideal profile, but
absolutely. It always helps us to understand.
Yeah, but I think I've just put in a one-liner as to what I do at my job.
Sounds great.
Right.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So I help higher education institutions and students devise a LinkedIn strategy. Right. So that's the essence of my role, and I just thought that I should put that up there. Now let's look at I think Pratik, right?
How about the cover photo?
Yeah.
Does that help a lot, Jayant?
Yeah, I think it's also important to put up a cover photo with something meaningful there, right? I think I had put this up at a time, my profile picture, I put it as a time during the pandemic, right? I wanted to, so essentially I had a lot of people reaching out to me for job opportunities, for recommendations, etc. And I wanted to just put it out there that, we're all in this together. We all have to help each other out. So I thought there was some element of meaning to it, and which is the reason why I put that up there. So anything that's meaningful to you, I think you can put it up there. Just give me a second. I'm just looking at Pratik's profile. Let me just find it here. Pratik, can you just share your profile if you don't mind? I'm sorry, I somehow missed it here.
Yeah, I'll share it. Just a second.
Yeah, can you just share it once again? Yeah, just easier.
Yeah, I've shared it.
Got it. Yeah. The same recommendation that I've given Rohit, the same I would tell you also, Pratik. I think add a one-liner here, which is bring in the essence of what you're doing currently. I think you need to definitely add some more content to your profile, I would say, in the sense that you're a wealth manager. What is it that you're doing? A little more detail, I think, is definitely required in even what you've learned in your internship, right? You might have done some kind of a project or something of that sort. Put a little more details about it. Since you've very recently started working, I think it's important to highlight that. Yeah. And I think you have gotten a few endorsements. I would recommend asking these people for recommendations also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Some basic
So what
things
exactly, can you just throw some light on how exactly I should write? Like, how should I frame frame a sentence if I am a wealth manager? So just 2-3 points, if you can just help me with that.
So just tell me a little bit of what you do, man. So I'm not a finance guy, so I'm not an obvious expert on this. But I will. But what I will recommend is, what I will also recommend is, look at other people's profiles who are wealth managers in other organizations, right? Look at senior people. Look at how they have framed their experience, right? How they have put it together. I'm sure when you look at certain profiles, you're like, hey, okay, I mean, this is really, really good, right? So I think that is something which I would definitely recommend. I mean, if it was for a sales role, I would have probably been able to kind of help you a little more.
Yeah, it is a sales role, basically.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we are just, I'm selling financial products. That's it.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very difficult to say, in the sense, depends on what all you do. But my recommendation is looking at other people's profiles also and taking some good elements from there, right? There's nothing wrong in doing that. You're picking up something that you've liked in somebody's profile and you're adding your own element to it, right? And putting it in your experience. I would definitely recommend that as an activity. But if you want to individually kind of get some kind of input from me, I would recommend we connect post the meeting. Just drop me a message. We'll get on a small call and we'll get this done. Yeah?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Anyone, any other questions, anything of that sort? Or can I like move ahead with this?
Yeah, please move ahead.
Perfect. All right. Now I think of course, these are some other things which you should definitely not forget about. This is a given. Location, education, any kind of publications, any awards, recognition that you've received. Don't forget to mention any of this, because all of this will go a long way in kind of creating a great impression as from when somebody is looking at your profile, right? Now, I think I want to move on to some pro tips for job seekers. And I think I already covered one element, which is the keyword part of it. I hope you guys found that useful. I have a few other things which I think that you should definitely do, in my opinion. These are largely the things that I feel you can do on your profile to up your job search game, right? If you are currently looking for a job. One is, of course, using the right keywords, which I think I've already covered. The second part is connecting with the right people, right? I know people randomly just send requests to people with no real agenda, no real thought that is put into it. You just see somebody's profile, immediately send a request, right? There is nothing wrong with doing that. But I would say that you need to prepare yourself for success, right? You need to do the right things. So connecting with the right people, I will explain, I will shed some light on it, especially from a job search standpoint. I think I'll talk a little more about that. The third part is how to improve your in-mail response rate, right? Now, some of you might be like, hey, I don't have a LinkedIn premium profile. I can't send emails to people, etc. There is a small hack around it, which I will also talk about during this conversation. And the last piece that I want to cover is how are recruiters looking for talent on LinkedIn today, right? What is important to them? right? I want to share that with you so that you can take that information and make the necessary changes to your LinkedIn profile and to your activity, right? Since I've already covered uh, the keyword piece, I'm going to move ahead to the next. Is anybody has any kind of doubt as far as this is concerned? I think this document is anyway going to be shared with Palak and Himadri. You can take it from them, and the link is anyway available here, right? The next piece is connecting with the right people. I think this is extremely important, and it can go a long way in your job hunt, right? Now, one thing that you need to do, one small activity that you need to do is obviously identify the organization and the open positions that are there. Now, I'm assuming all of you know how to look at your relevant job openings that are there on LinkedIn, right? There is a job section on top. You click on that, and you can also type in the job title and anything related to that. All the jobs that are related to that will be available there. There are a bunch of filters that you can use. Identify the right companies and the roles that you're interested in working. That is the number one thing, right? The next step is connecting with people who are currently working on the same role, right? So for example, let's say you're applying for an account manager position in, let's say, any organization, let's say Salesforce, just for example, right? I would say that you need to connect with people who are already working on those roles. Search for them, connect with them on LinkedIn. That is, I think, a very basic activity. Now, not everybody who you send a request to will accept, but what can significantly improve your chance of getting a response rate is looking at people from your alma mater. Now, I'm going to just show you how I am going to do this. I hope you're all able to see my screen here. I'm just going to quickly go to my profile, and I'm going to go into my education here, right? So this is my alma mater. I click on the university page. I go to the view page section here, and there is this section called alumni that is there as part of every university page, right? You can click on this alumni page. Now, let's say that I'm actively looking for a role in Salesforce. I've identified a key position in this organization, Salesforce, and I'm looking for people from my own alma mater who are working in Salesforce today. Now, this will give you some details as where they live, where they work, etc. All I need to do is type Salesforce here, and it will tell me all the people from my own university who are currently working at Salesforce. Now, the chances of these people accepting my request and helping me in the future is much, much higher than any other, right? So if you don't know anybody at Salesforce, I would recommend using this alumni feature. Is there anybody who's already using this feature? Have any of you used this? Anybody?
So can you repeat which one?
The alumni feature that I'm talking about. Have you used this to connect with the right people?
No.
Okay. So I think this is any questions about this? Anything that you didn't understand, or anything that I need to kind of repeat as far as this is concerned? Have you understood how to utilize this particular feature?
No, sir. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I was saying is that instead of when you're looking for a job, right? When you're looking for a job, let's say you identified an organization that you potentially feel that would be a right fit for you, right? Or you want to work in this organization. I've given you an example of Salesforce here, right? Salesforce is an organization that let's say that I want to work in an organization called Salesforce. Instead of randomly looking for people, typing in Salesforce here, going to their page and randomly sending invites to a lot of people, what I have done here is I have gone to my university where I have studied, right? And once I go on to their page, there is something called as the alumni section here. So once I go into the alumni section, I just have to type in the company name here, Salesforce. And below here, it will tell me all the people who are currently from my alma mater who are working in this organization, right? I can also type in, let's say, sales here to tell me who are all the people who are also looking at sales, who are in a sales role in Salesforce today, right? Now the chances of these people responding to my message and connecting me to the right people, etc., can go a lot is much higher than a normal person if you send them a request without knowing anybody, because you have a common thing, right? You both graduated from the same university, so the chances of them responding to you is much higher.
Okay, got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Is this
It's
something that you
wonderful.
had explored in the
Yeah,
past?
no, I never tried it, but I will definitely. It's wonderful.
But it's a very simple thing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
somebody you
it's
studied in the
pretty
same
simple.
institute, the chances of them wanting to help you is much higher, correct?
So
Instead
instead
of
of
random.
any university, I can also go for any institution. Like I've done few learning programs from British Council as well. So if I type British Council and then just follow their page, and like, can I
Yes.
follow the same process with any other institution?
Any higher education institution will have the alumni section.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, once, of course, so this connecting to people in your alma mater, obviously, improves the turnaround time. What you can also do is look at people from organizations that you worked in the past, right? If you go back, I'm just going to go back to my profile here. Just give me a second. So if I look at, let's say I've worked at IIM Jobs here. So if I go to the people section, yet again, I will be able to do a similar search and find out who these people are. I should ideally be looking at people who are in this section also, right? Now, I think a very basic thing is, of course, once you identified somebody who's working in that organization, let's say you connected to your alma mater or your ex-colleague, etc. I think it's very important. There are two things that you can get out of them. One is, of course, asking them to connect you to a recruiter, who's the right recruiter in their organization, right? In this example, let's say Salesforce. So I write to any of those people who are my alumni, who have graduated from the same college. I tell them, hey, I am looking for a role, for a sales role. I found these jobs. Will it be possible for you to point me out to the right recruiter? So, for example, a recruiter who's looking at technology hiring might not be looking at sales. So it's important to identify who the right person is, and you can get your new connections to kind of help you out with that. Right now, I think I want to give you a small tip on how you can kind of send emails to people even without having a LinkedIn Premium feature, right? I'm sure a lot of you have seen the groups column are following multiple groups, right? Now, these are some of the groups that I am following right now, right? And these are all groups where you have to send in a request and then you get accepted by the admin of those particular groups, right? Now, I would definitely recommend all of you all to kind of identify groups that are of interest to you, right? Don't just apply to any groups. Yeah, Deborna, you have any questions here?
Yeah, sorry, so for the interruption. So, can
Please.
you tell me the exact search bar, because I'm not getting it, like from that alumni section. I'm not getting any search bar. I'm handling from phone. So, will I get
Okay.
any search bar from here?
It should ideally be there. Maybe you can just log in from your laptop and also try it out. It will be there. It should be there for everybody.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. In case you're not, if I just ping me later, I'm happy to kind of help you out with that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just wanted to highlight this group section here. So I'm just going to show you this IIM Jobs group that I've been part of for a while now. Now, there are roughly around 25,268 members in this particular group, right? A lot of them could be recruitment professionals. It could be from multiple backgrounds, right? Business owners, etc. Now, if I want to see who these members are here, I just have to click on show all, and I have an option to message all these people in this group, even without having a LinkedIn premium, this thing, or even without having connected with them. So if you can see, a lot of them are my second degree and third degree connections in this particular group. But I have an option of messaging them even without connecting with them. This is a small hack that you guys can also use to reach out to more people actively. Be part of groups, but don't just select any random group. Select groups that are of genuine interest to you. Let's say you are looking for sales, try and join sales related groups. Just you can do a simple search. You will be able to identify which are the groups that are there on LinkedIn, and pick and choose very carefully which are the groups that are of genuine interest to you. Once you get admitted into the groups by the admins, you will be able to do what I'm just showing you right now. You will be able to message people even without having connected with them, and even without having a LinkedIn premium on your profile. Is this clear?
Yes.
Has anybody ever used this before? I'm curious because I just want to know, like, if this is genuinely something new that you've used. I want to see people if they've used it earlier, so that they can maybe add some tips to it in addition to what I'm
most
saying.
of the
There are a lot
things
many
are new.
things are quite new for us, all of us, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. But do you think this is something that can be of use to you?
Yes, absolutely. It's very useful.
Fantastic. Super. Any questions that you have here?
I think you guys start a course on it.
No, but these are small hacks that you can use to kind of maximize the platform. So instead of spending some extra money on LinkedIn Premium, you can possibly do this also. Anyways, I am going to move on to my next step, which is, I think, very, very interesting. Obviously, you connect with all the relevant people, etc., who could potentially help you out with the job. Another interesting statistic that I ran across is to not underestimate your weak connections, right? What I mean is, you have your close friends who will obviously help you in whatever way they can. But when I say weak connections, I mean people who are casual contacts, who you meet occasionally or you communicate once in a while on LinkedIn, etc. 84% of people, according to a survey, got their jobs through these so-called weak relations, right? I thought it's an interesting statistic that I should share with this group, because most of the times it's not our close friends who are going to help us. It's these acquaintances who can kind of help you, which is why it's again important to connect with the right people. Yeah, this is something that I just wanted to quickly share with you. Any questions here? Anything that anybody? All right, I'm going to quickly move on to the next section. Why it's also important to connect with people from the organization that you want to work with is also because you can also ask them for a referral to these organizations. Let's say I want to work at Salesforce. I connect with people at Salesforce and I ask them for a recommendation, right? And why is a recommendation or a referral very important? Because referrals are the most preferred form of recruitment for any organization, right? Majority of the hires generally tend to be through referrals, especially in larger organizations. And so, as these are some interesting stats that you should kind of definitely be aware of. 69% of employers say they have a formal employee referral program. So most of them have referral programs at their organizations. 26% of external hires are generated from employee referrals, right? Making employee referrals the number one source of hire in most organizations. These are some stats from Career Builder, by the way. And 82% of employers rated employee referrals above all other sources, right, for generating the best return on investment. And 88% of employers rated employee referrals above all other sources when you're talking about the quality of hires, right? So, which is the reason why you should definitely connect with people from your dream companies and request them to refer you in organizations, right? So, in case this is something that you are not aware of, I thought I should just put this out there. Now we're talking about crafting the perfect in-mail. You can see there are a couple of messages here. Yeah, somebody has asked me to share my LinkedIn profile. I will. I wouldn't say mine is the perfect LinkedIn profile, but I'm happy to kind of share that with you guys. Just give me a second. I'm just going to put this in the chat section. All right. Now, the next part is once you've identified the right people, you've made all the right connections, you have drastically improved your chances of getting a response. Now it's a question of writing the perfect email. Okay, first of all, maybe this can be a little bit misleading. There's nothing called as a perfect email, but there are obviously words when put together in a certain order improve your chances of getting a response, right? It's as simple as that. Now, let me just show you if you were to ask for a referral, right? There are some tips that I wanted to share with you. One is, of course, the moment you connect with somebody, let's say you send a request to somebody, again, I'm giving the Salesforce example here. You connect with somebody, you don't just immediately say that, hey, can you refer me? They don't know anything about you, right? Let's say you've connected with somebody who, even if it's somebody who's an alumni of your institute, not somebody who know, and if it's somebody you don't know, don't directly just ask for a referral. This person has no knowledge. So this has happened to me a couple of times, right? And it's sometimes a little off-putting because somebody sends you a request and you connect with them and then immediately they're like, hey, can you just refer me? I don't know anything about you, right? Why will I refer you? When I refer you, it means that I know you, I know your work, and I know you at least at personal level, at some level, and there is absolutely nothing that's pushing me to refer you because I don't know anything about you. Not that I don't want to help you, but referral is a different game altogether, right? So I would say don't just ask for a referral right away. Just give me a second. Sorry, I think I'm into another page. But what you should do is you should remain active on LinkedIn. Make slowly over a period of time, make the connection meaningful, right? LinkedIn is offering you multiple options on a daily basis. It's somebody's birthday, it is somebody's work anniversary, somebody's switching jobs. It's giving you multiple opportunities to build this relationship, right? Writing, commenting on some of their posts, etc. These are ways in which you can slowly build a connection. I'm not saying it's the most ideal way, but as the platform is available to you today, I think these are ways in which you can slowly improve on that connection. And once you feel that, hey, you've reached a stage where I can now ask them for some kind of help, is when you drop in a message saying that, hey, listen, I saw an open position at your organization, and you ask them for their recommendation, right? Don't say that, hey, just refer me, right? Do you think I'm ready to apply for this position, or am I missing key skills? Do you have anything to recommend to make me a more successful candidate for this position? Which means you're asking for their inputs, right? You're not telling them, hey, refer me, right? There is a distinct difference in the way you ask for a referral. And I think this is the more sensible way to get a response. And these are not things that will just happen instantly. Instant results in a platform, in any platform, especially in a public platform like this, will not happen. So you need to put some time into it and you need to do it a little smartly. And this is my recommendation to you, right? And also, let's say that this person has referred you to their organization. Like I showed you in the earlier thing, referral, the chances of you getting a call from the recruiter for an interview is much, much higher. Let's say all that happens, you crack the interview, you don't crack the interview, just make sure that you are thanking the person who's doing this. And this will ensure that, in the future also, this person can be a very important contact for you as far as the job hunt is concerned. So don't just, once you've gotten what you need out of them, don't just stop responding, don't just discard them. My recommendation would be to kind of keep in touch with them, thank them for all their help. If you got the job, fantastic. You will continue to be in touch with that person because you're going to be in the same organization. If not, my recommendation is to keep those bridges intact. Any questions here? Has any of you ever asked for a referral from any of your colleagues or connections?
Not on LinkedIn, no, not really.
Okay. All right. Maybe you can start doing it now. I'm sorry, Kishan. I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, I have not asked for a referral, but I have received it actually. So I worked for one of my a friend, and he got a direct interview in one of my
Exactly. So it's
workplaces.
a very powerful way to kind of it's the most powerful way to get a job, in my opinion. In fact, I myself got my job due to a reference, so I would highly recommend it. Yeah. The next piece is, I think we are running short of time here. I'm going to kind of run through this very quickly. Once you've, let's say you've your connection has pointed you out to the right recruiter, right? In an organization. Let's say they don't have a referral program of some sort. Your next option is asking them to connect you to a recruiter. And this could be a potential message that you could share with the recruiter. The first part being establishing some kind of a common ground with them. Hi, I see that we are both part of this group, etc., and based out of Bangalore. Anything that you feel that is in common with the recruiter. Anything that let's say they've put some, this is just an example, right? You have to kind of dig deep into their profile to see where the common ground is and highlight that during the first message when you're sending a connection request to a recruiter and would love to connect if it's possible. And the pro tip here is don't bring up the open position too early. Take your time with it. Don't just be like, hey, I saw an open position, please consider me for this role. Because sometimes again this person has no idea about you. They might look at your profile and they might not even, or they might not, but this generally tends to kind of it's always important to build a relationship slowly rather than directly getting to the point here, especially if you don't know who this person is, right? This could be a standard message. So I'm sure there are better messages that can be put, but I thought this was a good place to start with, wherein you identify common ground and you just express an interest to connect. That's it, right? And let's say once you've slowly built a relationship, you've kind of looked at their content, you've commented on them, you shared some messages, etc., over a period of time, then you can write to them maybe about this could be another message that could highlight the kind of work that you've done, right? Or this could get a better response from the recruiter. Now, I'll just break this down to you. So here I'm just saying, thanks for accepting my connection request, right? I saw the account manager open role from a week ago and have connected with ABC from your company as part of my research. So here you're telling them that I have already started or already done my groundwork, where I've connected with somebody who is already an account manager in your organization. I have done my groundwork here. I've already connected with them. Next, I'm going to highlight something that I learned from my conversation with the person that I connected with, right? I had no idea about the impact your solutions are having on the turnaround time of recruiters. This could be anything, right? Anything interesting that you learned from your conversation with the person that you connected. Chatting with that person from your organization has only solidified my interest in joining the account management team at your company, and I would love to send over my resume for your review if convenient, right? And then you tell them that, hey, I sincerely believe my account management and sales skills have developed during my time at my previous organization, and at Juno School would transfer over to this role at your organization. Now, instead of just telling them that, hey, I saw this role, please consider me for it, I think this is a far better way of putting it across to a recruiter. I think I saw Pratik raise his hand. I'm sorry, Pratik, any questions?
Actually, I have a network issue, so I have written down my question in the chat box.
Okay. Let me just look at that also. What if you're reaching out to prospects yet again, right? Yet again, I think it's. I will share some light on this also. Let me just go on to my next slide. It's an important question. I think even while writing to prospects, I would say follow the basic steps. Don't just write to them that, hey, I'm from here. This is what it is. Can we meet for 10 minutes? I see a lot of messages like that with no real context, right? Show that you've put in the work, show that you've done the research, and show that you're actively, which goes a long way in telling them that, hey, you're actively interested in offering some kind of a solution to them, etc. Do some puts, make it a little personalized is my recommendation when you're sending it to a prospect. I will cover that also, but I think this is what I wanted to kind of show you, how you can improve your in-mail response rate, right? I also have some data which I have from the backend, which I also want to show you. Shorter in-mails definitely get above average response rates. I will also tell you what is the exact number that we feel is the appropriate size of an in-mail. The second piece is when you should be sending these messages, right? And the third piece is personalized emails. This is what I was talking to you about. Instead of sending something en masse, make it highly personalized to that particular person that can invoke a better response. Now I'm going to show you the data that LinkedIn has as far as these things are concerned. Shorter emails get better responses, like I said. And according to our own data, what it says is that if you keep your the total number of characters between 0 to 400, the chances of you getting a response is much higher. If it much higher, it's around 22% here. It improves your chances. And of course, if it's 1,200 plus, just forget about it. The chances of you getting a response is going to be nil. Nobody has the patience to sit and read a long essay as far as email is concerned. Also, when you send the message is also very important. According to our data, Friday and Saturday are the worst times to send an email to a person. Monday seems to be the best possible time. But generally, the response rate between Sunday and Thursday is pretty similar. But I would say Monday is the best option to send out an email, whether it is to a prospect or whether it is to a recruiter or anybody. Why Friday is invoking a lot of less responses, because some organizations don't they have a 4-day week, and Friday is generally kept for like their well-being, etc., which is why we are seeing this trend globally, right? Another interesting thing is, this is again what our data is telling us: emails sent individually perform nearly 15% better than emails sent in bulk. There is a significant increase in the response rate when you send a highly personalized mail versus a bulk mail, right? I think Pratik, I think that I hope I've given some insight into what you can do to get like better responses even from prospects. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to show you is how are recruiters looking for talent on LinkedIn, right? What are they specifically looking for? This is something which I don't think you might be aware of, but when recruiters are looking for potential candidates or top talent from the back end, right? They're using our business solutions to look for candidates. Something that's a favorite among LinkedIn recruiters is something called as a spotlights feature, right? Now, these are all the filters that are available in a spotlight feature. So they will use the keywords, right? let's say sales, account management, etc. They will type in all the keywords. And there is a section called spotlights. Largely, this section is used by recruiters to get to the best candidate fast, right? Now, one is they use the filter open to work. So it's very important that you put, if you're actively looking for a job, you need to put open to work here for sure. The second part is LinkedIn is also giving them data as to who are most likely to respond to their emails. In the sense, it's looking at their historical data, depending on how actively you've been responding to messages, etc., in mails, etc., in the past. It is taking that data and sharing that with the recruiter. The third part is if you're engaged with the talent brand, in the sense, are you following their company page? Are you liking their posts, etc.? It's looking at your level of engagement with their talent brand. The last piece is have company connections. It's looking at people who have already connected to people within their organization. And it's, of course, looking at people who have applied in the past. But the top 4 filters I felt are extremely, extremely relevant. And which is the reason why you need to keep all of the features that I spoke about earlier updated, because these are all some of the favorite filters that recruiters are using when they're looking for candidates on it. Right. This is something which this is information that might not be available to you. I thought this will be useful. And I thought this will also encourage you in updating your profile. I think that's it. I think my presentation, I think I've covered some of the pro tips that I thought, which helped me. I hope that it helps you too. I'm open to any questions that any of you have at this point. I think we've already run a little past our time, but I'm happy to kind of address any questions that you guys have.
Hi, Jayant, hi.
Yeah.
Asif this side.
Hi, Asif.
First of all, thanks a lot for the very insightful session. There were a lot of things that I actually am not a very active user on LinkedIn at all. I didn't know the solid impact that it was putting on recruiters as well as professionals seeking out for opportunities.
Right.
Anyway, it was really helpful. Thanks a lot. And
Pleasure.
Question is something. My question is something which is specific. Actually, I found out that a couple of organizations right now are working on something called an SEO optimization regarding the job searches on LinkedIn. And then what they are doing is they are connecting with the higher management professionals, or maybe they already have connections with the higher management professionals of certain companies, and they are asking them for references. Now, what they're doing is they're getting in touch with people like myself who is actively looking for a change right now or looking for more opportunities and is with some specifications like, maybe I'm a person who's looking for a specific location. So what these guys are doing is that I have to pay some amount to that particular organization. They are going to optimize there's something that SEO optimization for job seekers at that point of time. And that is how they are helping them out. That is what they are saying. Now, I'm not really clear because you're a person directly from the organization that they were talking about. So I think you would be able to shed some light on that. Thanks.
No, so there might be some people who've cracked the algorithm and who are kind of charging some money for that. But I personally believe that you don't need to depend on any external sources. I think these are all things that you can crack on your own, right?
All right.
If you're able to follow the things that I have told you here, and if you're able to do it sensibly, I think that can itself improve your chances of getting a call from a recruiter, right? I just stay active on the platform. That is my personal belief because I have never used it. I have never felt the need to use it. And I know a lot of colleagues at LinkedIn itself who don't use anything of that sort, right? And who've managed to get great jobs even without all of this. So I mean, if it's something that you want to try out, I would say go for it. But otherwise, I generally wouldn't feel that something like this is necessary.
All right. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
And everybody thinks that
myself.
Yeah, everybody thinks that they've cracked it in some way, but generally that's not the case. At least from my experience, I might be wrong also. But
is it real? The SEO optimization for job searches on LinkedIn? Is it a thing? Is it something you've heard of?
From the back end, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Debarna, you have some questions.
Sir, could you please share the previous slide once again? before the
Sure. This one?
questions. Yeah.
This is the
Yes.
one?
So
Yeah.
I am aware of the open to work section, but not the rest. Could you please
No.
explain that?
Yeah, I'll explain this to
Is
you.
it a
Okay, fine.
section or
Perfect.
just
These are not
suggestions?
these are all sections that filters that are available to recruiters, right?
Okay.
Now, why I'm saying you need to be active on the platform, actively responding to emails, etc., writing emails, etc., is that the second feature, right, are more likely to respond.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is also looking at your activity, so it will highlight to the recruiters that this person is active on the platform and are more likely to respond to the recruiters in mails, right, when they are reaching out to you for a job
Got it. Got
opportunity,
it.
right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
the
So
third
these are
piece
the
is
buttons
engage with the
that
talent.
they used to get. Okay.
Exactly. These are all recruiters' favorite filters, is what I'm trying to say
Okay.
on LinkedIn
Okay.
when they are using it from the back end.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I thought it's important for you also to know what the recruiters are looking for so that you can take that information and, update your profile and stay active on the platform.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Anything else?
I have no more questions. I have asked a
Okay.
lot, I think.
Thank you, Devana. No, I think these were all good questions, and I'm glad that you asked. I'm sure some of the other people
It was
also
a
would
lovely
have
session,
had doubts
very,
about.
very eye-opening, very insightful session. Thanks to you
I'm
and
I'm
thanks to
happy. I'm happy.
Himadri sir, to
No,
both of
I'm
you.
so happy that you said that because I recently went through this whole thing of looking for a job, and so this was fresh in my memory. So I thought I should share this, and even if one of these tips that I gave you is going to help you land a job, I think my job here is done.
Yeah.
Himadri, I think we've already gone
So could you
past
please
the
put
time here.
that name on the chat box, that software name?
I have already put it actually. Do you want me to do it again? I have already put that here. Yeah, this is monkeylearn.com. That's the one. I'm going to just copy it again, put it in. Yeah. All right.
Okay, got it. Actually, so many links are there, so okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Hi, Jayant. I had a question for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So how important
I'm
is to
sorry,
be
I don't know who this is actually. I'm
hi,
sorry.
Kishan this
Kishan.
side.
Hi, Kishan. Yeah.
Hi.
Tell me. Yeah.
How important is to be then a early applicant for a specific job? Those recruiter post on the LinkedIn profile. Like, does it make your priority in getting shortlisted, or what impact it does on the profile?
Yeah, I mean,
Shortlisted.
see, it depends, right? Like, so for example, if I'm just look at it from a recruiter standpoint, right? Let's say I have a position, I need to close this position in the next, let's say, 1 month, right? Now, if when somebody is applying right at the beginning itself, I'm going to obviously give that person. I'm going to look at that profile first, right? So it always makes sense to be there early. It obviously doesn't guarantee anything. It's just that they may look at your profile earlier, but that's all that means, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Guys, any questions you have, or else we'll wind up the session for this Saturday. Any questions you have, please feel free to ask, Jay.
Yeah. So one more thing just comes, comes to my mind that I feel like asking. So when
Sure,
we say
please,
that
please ask.
about sharing content, on LinkedIn, does that mean that relevant content? I understand that it has to be relevant to your field and what you're working with. But how about so do we share that what other people have posted, or should we create more content by ourselves and then we post it on LinkedIn? Or like how does that?
What do you
what
feel
is the
like doing,
impact of
Asim?
that?
What do you? So the thing is, what is your opinion? I would like to know.
So my opinion would be like I have a couple of insights myself which I would like to share myself. But there are some relevant points that I come across on a daily basis if I log on to LinkedIn, which I think is good enough if I'm sharing. But I'm talking about from a recruiter's point of view. If somebody is looking at it, or a potential recruiter is like just checking my profile, so when they will be seeing the the kind of content that I'm sharing, what would be more impactful in that case?
Yeah, it's not just the recruiter, by the way. It is also your potential hiring manager, your future boss, right?
Right.
The recruiter might not go into the technicalities of your job and things like that, right? The recruiters are looking at a basic fitment. But the next level is your boss, right? That person is obviously an industry expert, your future boss, right? Or the person who's going to interview you for the role.
Right.
That person, when they look at your profile and they see that, hey, this person has insights on his own, which makes sense, and is also sharing some very interesting things, that can create an impression there, right? So I think both are important. Obviously, if you have some meaningful insights that you have identified on your own and you want to share that, please do that. If you see something interesting, share that within your network. It's a good way to so you never know, right? So when you see something interesting and you feel that this is valuable to me, you have no idea, this might be valuable to 100 other people, right?
Right.
So you're putting it out there, and people are going to recognize you, or it's going to be on the back of their mind that, hey, this person shared something insightful, right? So I think it's important to build that community and also to create an impression with your future hiring managers and all that.
Right. Because I've seen posts like, very random posts on LinkedIn, like I'm looking for a job. Oh my God, my boss kicked me out. I'm looking for a job. And it has got 5,000, over 5,000, 10,000 likes and like shares of around 3,000. It blows my mind. I mean, I don't get it. Like,
See, I'll tell you.
Is there something that they are promoting it in some way?
No, yeah. So I'll tell you what. Generally, see, when somebody's lost their job, etc., there is that sense of empathy, right? I think you kind of you sympathize with them, and then people generally tend to promote that content. But like and sometimes they might get a job also. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not. It's not what I would recommend. I wouldn't choose that approach.
Yes.
But like,
kind of unprofessional that way it comes to me.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it the best approach, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because the idea is to not just do something for the heck of it, right? You want to get the best possible results out of it.
Yes.
So you need to kind of prepare yourself and make sure that you're doing things that will give you the maximum or the best possible results. So I think I'm sure you understand what is working and what is not, right? When something is very cringe. So I think just stay true to your instincts, man. I think that's all. That's what I would say. And put all kinds of content, put your own content, share interesting content, do all of that. Everything can have an impact.
Right.
There is nothing, I mean, yeah.
Thanks, John.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Great stuff, guys. Jen, thank you so much. I think it was a great session, really insightful, and especially, the alumni group and the keywords link that you shared. I think it was an eye-opener for most of us. And I'm sure, guys, you enjoyed the session, and Jen actually rocked it for us, as the name goes. And I'm sure you're ready for the next rocking session on Saturday. So we're signing off at this point of time. So do watch out for the next learning series next Saturday, 12 to 1. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Jen, for coming over.
Thank you so much.
You provided really good insights about the LinkedIn.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.